You want to learn more about dinosaurs? Welcome to the Natural History of Dinosaurs. My name is Benjamin Berger, and I'm a paleontologist teaching at Utah State University at the Uintah Basin campus located here in Vernal, Utah, right in the heart of Utah's dinosaur country. I'm a bit like Indiana Jones, but instead of a whip, I have a yo-yo. Still getting pretty good at this. Watch this around the world. In this series of lectures, we will cover many details about the natural history of dinosaurs. Who were the dinosaurs? How they evolved over millions of years that they lived on the Earth. And we'll look at dinosaurs with a clear scientific examination. How we know they existed and how we can better reconstruct their lives from fossilized remains buried in the rocks. Now, before going on with this series, I thought I would like to introduce myself to you and outline my qualifications for teaching a class on dinosaurs. I've always been interested in rocks and fossils since I was a little kid. My room growing up in Colorado was a little museum of rocks and minerals that I collected and assembled. So early on, I knew that I wanted to study geology and in particular paleontology. After high school, I attended the University of Colorado and I enrolled in every course that I could take that would enable me to be a stellar paleontologist, including courses in both the geology and biology departments. After my second year in college, I spent a summer in Wyoming collecting vertebrate fossils and helping a graduate student's research project in the Bridger Basin of southwest Wyoming. It was actually there that I met my girlfriend and later my wife. The following year, I spent writing an undergraduate thesis on a small mammal known from the same rock units. Using hundreds of fossil jaws and teeth like these, I determined how the various species of this little mammal evolved and changed within the different layers of the rock units. I saw how species could change both gradually and abruptly due to ecological changes to the environment over the space of several million years. The next summer, I was lucky enough to accompany a professor and fellow students to southeastern Colorado, where there we documented dinosaur sites for the United States military as a part of a survey for paleontological resources on lands that were managed by the U.S. Army. It was a really fun summer, and it taught me a great deal about how to find dinosaur fossils. After I graduated, I followed my girlfriend east, and I enrolled at the Stony Brook University in New York to study anatomy. And in fact, many of the world's experts in dinosaur paleontology actually teach at medical universities because knowing the anatomy of a human also gives you greater insight into understanding how to reconstruct dinosaurs from only their fossilized bones. So I spent 2 years dissecting human cadavers, but during the summer I would return to Wyoming and I collected fossils primarily at that time for the American Museum of Natural History in New York City. After leaving Stony Brook with a master's degree, I was extremely fortunate to get a full-time job at the American Museum in New York. My job there was to catalog, database, and photograph the dinosaur collections there. The next 5 years I spent looking at each dinosaur fossil and getting to know the collections inside and out. The job was really challenging. First, many of the dinosaurs are really big. And photographing their bones is especially hard, especially the dinosaurs that were sort of disassembled and fragmentary and that were not on public display. The second challenge was really how vast that museum's collection is. This museum is one of the oldest museums in the United States. Scientists there have discovered many of the most famous dinosaurs, such as Tyrannosaurus rex, and many discoveries in the Gobi Desert of Mongolia, such as Velociraptor. In 2001-2002, I traveled to Egypt and I collected fossils in El Fayum with a team of international paleontologists. I decided that although I really loved working at the museum, my heart was really into fieldwork and leading expeditions of my own. And I was also interested in studying fossil mammals, particularly in studying what happened after the extinction of the dinosaurs. So I decided to return to school to pursue a PhD degree. I returned to Colorado and studied under some of the world's experts in paleontology. I spent 5 years conducting fieldwork in western Colorado, collecting and documenting fossils across the Paleocene-Eocene boundary and looking at how climate change affected the mammals living at that period of time. During the school year, I also taught field geology, and I really fell in love with teaching. In the end, I produced a 785-page dissertation on all the fossils that I collected. After I graduated in early 2009, it was about that time that the country kind of fell into an economic depression, and many museums, their funding had dried up, and many museums and universities were not hiring at the time. So I ended up moving to Utah, and I started working surveying and salvaging fossils on primarily on government land for various private industrial projects. Now, mostly oil and gas development on public lands here in Utah, but I also worked on highway projects as well. The experience gave me access to some amazing places. It was a blast to figure out what fossils were present, where they could be found at each project's location. I worked, in Colorado, Wyoming, Utah primarily. All the fossils I collected ended up at various public museums. Many paleontologists I know work in this capacity, in part from kind of a quirk in the federal law that was decided over 100 years ago here in Vernal, Utah, which basically states that fossils are owned by the surface owner or the managing agency, and they're not necessarily considered mineral resources like oil and gas and coal and those sorts of things. In 2009, my wife started teaching at Utah State University a course in human anatomy, and in the fall of 2011, I was extremely lucky to get a job teaching geology at Utah State University here in Vernal, Utah. Since then, I've taught many courses in paleontology beyond just dinosaurs. I also have been leading a number of paleontological digs in Colorado, Utah, and Wyoming, uncovering new fossil discoveries, mentoring graduate students. Each summer, I lead my own expeditions up to Wyoming, primarily recently, looking for mammal fossils. And I look for mammal fossils spanning the period of time from about 60 to 35 million years ago, so shortly after the extinction of the dinosaurs. It's been a wonderful journey, and I really look forward to teaching you more about dinosaurs with this video series. Now, before I sign off, I wanted to give you a quick lesson on what dinosaurs are and what we'll be covering in this video series. Dinosaurs are ancestral to living birds. They're also related to crocodilians, alligators, and crocodiles. They encompass about 700 to 800 species of extinct animals, which first evolved during the late Triassic period, around 235 million years ago. We'll discuss their origin and evolution throughout the Mesozoic, including examining the origin of early birds during that period as well. Now, the term Dinosauria, which means terrible lizards, was first coined by the British anatomist Sir Richard Owen in 1843 for only 3 fossil discoveries at that time that were discovered in England. This included Megalosaurus, Iguanodon, and Hylaeosaurus. That's it. That's all. Well, that was all that was known in 1842, and Richard Owen lumped them together and called them the dinosaurs. Now, not all dinosaurs are big giants. Many are actually very small, and some, in fact, resemble birds. In fact, the Dinosauria branch of the tree of life also includes birds. So birds technically are living dinosaurs. In this course, we'll mostly examine what we call the non-avian dinosaurs. But we will spend a little time looking at the origin and early evolution of birds from dinosaurs as well. In fact, this series we'll examine the Mesozoic dinosaurs pretty exclusively. Those are the dinosaurs that lived from about 235 million years ago to 66 million years ago at the end of the Cretaceous. This will encompass the Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous periods of the Mesozoic era. This series is designed for students who are interested in dinosaurs but aren't really experts. You just kind of want to learn a little bit more about dinosaurs, about these creatures, and I hope that this series will inspire you to become more knowledgeable and seek out other resources about our Earth's ancient past. I hope you enjoy the series, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.